Hi everyone, today we're going to find the rule of dividing powers. It's called the quotient of power property. Quotient means answer of division. Powers, again, it has a base, which is the factor that's being repeated, and an exponent that tells me how many times the base is repeated. Property mean rules. So let's look at this table that has three examples. The first one, 2 to the power of 4 divided by 2 to the power of 2. I have the same base. Now I need to use repeated multiplication. 2 to the power of 4, which means the base is repeated 4 times. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 divided by 2 to the power of 2 means the base repeated twice, which is 2 times 2. Now let's cancel or divide. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 2 divided by 2 is 1. Notice what's left, only 2 of the factors of the base. I need to write it as a power, which means 2 repeated twice, 2 to the power of 2. If they ask you to evaluate, that means 2 to the power of 2. What does that equal? Where would I put that on a number line? It's 2 times 2, which is 4. Now here's another example. Negative 4 to the power of 5 divided by the same base, negative 4, but it's to the power of 2. Let's use repeated multiplication. Again, negative 4 to the power of 5 means negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4. I think I need one more. Times negative 4. Divided by negative 4 to the power of 2 means the base negative 4 repeated twice. Negative 4 times negative 4. Now let's start canceling or dividing. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1. Notice what's left. The base of negative 4 repeated 3 times, which means as a power, negative 4 the base, and the exponent is 3. To evaluate, which means where would I put this on a number line? Negative 4 to the power of 3 means negative 4 times negative 4, which is positive 16, times negative 4 is negative 64. Now let's see what happened to the exponents when we divide. You started with 4 and 2, and you end up with 2. You started with 5 and 2, you end up with 3. So what's the relationship between the division and the quotient or the answer? There you go, you subtracted them this time. 4 minus 2 is 2, and 5 minus 2 is 3. So the quotient of power states, if you have a power with the base of a, exponent m, divided by the same base a with the exponents of n, all you have to do is keep the base the same and subtract the exponent m minus n. Let's try it with one more example. What if you have negative 7 to the power of 10 divided by negative 7 to the power of 3? All I have to do, keep the base the same, subtract the exponents. So the base is negative 7, subtract 10 minus 3. So your answer is negative 7 to the power of 7. Now if you're able to see that, now let's practice more. Okay, now let's practice dividing those three powers. The first one is negative 2.5 raised to the power of 6 divided by negative 2.5 raised to the power of 2. Since they both powers with the same base, you keep the base the same, which is negative 2.5, and you subtract the exponent 6 minus 2. And that gives you negative 2.5 to the power of 4. Now the second one. Pi to the power of 11 divided by pi to the power of 7. Same base, which is pi, subtract the exponents 11 minus 7. So your answer is pi to the power of 4. The last one. N to the power of 18 divided by n. N is raised to the power of 1. So keep the base the same and subtract the exponent. 18 minus 1 gives you n to the power of 17. We're going to practice with more problems in combining both multiplying and dividing powers. Now we're going to practice combining two properties we already learned. One of them is the product of powers. That states when you have multiplying two powers with the same base, you keep the base the same, add the exponents. The second one is quotient of power. When you're dividing two powers with the same base, keep the base the same, subtract the exponents. So let's see how that works. The first one, write your answer as a power. So at the end, I want to see number written in power form. 2 to the power of 15 divided by 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 2. You do have division, but you also have multiplication. So you're multiplying two powers and then dividing those two powers. I'm going to bring the 2 to the power of 15 down and then use the product of power to multiply those two powers. That states keep the base the same, add the exponents. Now simplify that. 2 to the power of 15 divided by 2 to the power of 5. This is the quotient of power. That means you're dividing powers with the same base. Keep the base the same, subtract the exponent. So your answer is 2 to the power of 5, and that's written in a power form that has a base of 2, exponent of 5. Let's move on to the next one. This problem can be done two different ways. You can use the quotient of power to simplify first, or the product of power to multiply fractions. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the quotient of power that states keep the base the same and subtract the exponent for both of them. Keep the base the same, subtract the exponents. Now simplify that. D to the power of 4 times D to the power of 1. That's a product of power. You're multiplying two powers, keep the base the same, add the exponents. So D to the power of 4 plus 1, that gives you D to the power of 5, and that's your answer. Let's move on to the next one. It gets harder every time. Now you got x times 4 to the power of 11 divided by 4 to the power of 8. You have two different factors, so I'm going to separate those factors into two different fractions. One of them is x to the power of 1 times 4 to the power of 11 divided by 4 to the power of 8. Now I can simplify. X divided by 1 is x times 4 to the power of 11 divided by 4 to the power of 8. That's a quotient of power that states keep the base the same, subtract the exponent. 11 minus 8, which gives you x times 4 to the power of 3. But you're not done, because the numbers comes before the variable. That's why they're called coefficients. And you have to evaluate what 4 to the power of 3 is, which is 4 times 4 times 4. That equal to 64x, and that's how your answer should be written. Last one. Now you have three different factors. I'm going to separate them into three different fractions. 5, and keep the common numbers. So 5 to the power of 12, 5 to the power of 9, times c to the power of 10, divided by c to the power of 9, times d over 1. Now simplify the fractions using the quotient of power that states if you're dividing two powers with the same base, keep the base the same, subtract the exponents. D to the power of 12 minus 9, C to the power of 10 minus 9, and D to the power of 1. Okay, so that gives you D. Sorry, that's not D, that's 5. That's 5 to the power of 12 minus 9. And 12 minus 9 is 3. So 5 to the power of 3 times c to the power of 1, d to the power of 1. Again, simplify that. 5 to the power of 3 means 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125 times c times d, and that's your answer. And that's practicing all properties of power that we already done so far. If you have any question, please comment below.